to the stock people who put their trust in stocks, people who are laughing and poking fun at the crypto market right now. See, we told you so. Oh, see, I told you that stuff was a scam and all of that. Specifically, I'm going to address this to somebody who I do respect. That's Warren Buffett. So, Mr. Buffett, I hope this gets to you. I hope that you take these words to heart, because I'm specifically, addressing your recent comments. But, if you say that you wouldn't take all the world's Bitcoin for $25, that's one of the stupidest things that I've ever heard anybody say.
Boy, when I put out that video last year, I got so much hate. I get hate anyway. So it really wasn't new, but that over the past year, that's been, one of the videos that I've gotten the most views from. And of course, you had all of the finance people on YouTube telling me, you don't know what you're talking about. Here's another crypto bro, right? A lot of people come and leave comments and then they delete them because they don't want me to find them and call them out later, because that's what I do, right? You leave a stupid comment on my channel, I will come and find you. Ask the iMarkets Live people about that, right? But this is what we're gonna do, right? So it's one thing to talk about it, but most people on YouTube, they just say stuff and then nobody checks them, or they don't go back and see, was I right? They won't admit when they're wrong, any of that. So again, like I said, this was last year, right? Warren Buffett comes out and say, I wouldn't take all the world's Bitcoin for $25. I wouldn't take all the world's Bitcoin for $25. Okay. All right. So in that video, you can go back and look at it. I will put the link. Obviously I'm telling people to buy Bitcoin, and I don't know where Bitcoin was at that time. We'll look, but we're just going to look over the past year, right? So here's Berkshire Hathaway, right? Which, most consider like, this is the thing that you want to invest in. And over the past year, it's up 16%. Man, that's great. If you can beat zero, that's great. If you can beat what the bank is paying you, that's great. Okay. The bank is only going to pay you 1%, 2%, maybe, some secret bank accounts or something, might be paying more if you know somebody, right? Or if you put in a lot of money, but you're not getting 16% from the bank. And that is who they are measuring Warren Buffett against. They're measuring him against the bank. So he gets a lot of praise, rightfully so, for beating the bank. Okay, so here's his stock, right? And the company that he's, I think, I could be wrong, most invested in is Apple. Okay, so here is Apple. Over the last year, they were $126 and now $194. So they're up about 55%. Okay, can we get specific? Okay, here we go. Year-to-date performance 49.52, 1 year performance 36. So either one of those, right? So again, these are good investments. You're certainly beating the bank with this, right? So, obviously Warren Buffett knows his lane, but I would like for him to come out of his lane. It's not going to happen, but I would like for him to come out of his lane. All right. So now let me show you what I was telling you to get, right, doing that video. So here is Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin over the last year up 156%. Beating Berkshire Hathaway by like 10. And beating Apple by what, 3? Apple was up 50%. Berkshire Hathaway up 16% for the year. Awesome. Wonderful. Not beating Bitcoin. Okay. So, you tell me in that regard who is right. Let me show you something else. This is really interesting. Berkshire Hathaway over the past 5 years, they're up 79% in the last 5 years. So they got it pretty much pegged that they're doing like 16% a year. Okay. Do you know how many 100Xs I've hit on in the past 5 years? Like, are you kidding? in 5 years, right? Let's look at Bitcoin. Just Bitcoin over 5 years. All right, so what we got to go back to? 2018 something. So where we at? Okay, you can go from here. Bitcoin is up, depending on where you want to go to, 5x, 6x, 10x, 8x, 7x. So that's 700%, 500%, 400%, depending on when you got it. Oh, you shouldn't get in Bitcoin. I don't think you should get in Bitcoin. I think it's rat poison. It's rat poison squared. That's what it. Right? This is what they've been telling you. Now let's look at some other things. Just you gotta go back and look at what somebody's saying to tell if you can trust them, right? So you see where Ethereum is right now. Ethereum over the last year. What happened if you just bought Ethereum over the last year? 90%, beating Apple, beating Berkshire Hathaway. Ethereum did more gains in 1 year than Berkshire Hathaway has done the last 5 years. Now let me show you when I was in Ethereum. Back here, $83 and $113, $16. Back here. Look at where we are now. I did not ride it to this level. What I sold Ethereum for ended up 100xing. So I did the right thing, but you could have just got in here beating the traditional markets. What else? Talking about the last 5 years. This is one of them ones for me. The company that everybody hates. The blockchain that everybody hates. Oh, it's so bad. It's terrible. Okay. Let's go back 5 years. Let's go back 5 years on BNB. It was $1. Okay. You want to come up a little bit? Okay, $10. With all the negative news, they're at 232. All the negative news. Oh, this is bad. Oh, you shouldn't get in this. Okay. Beating, again, who? Berkshire Hathaway and Apple. This is BNB, the thing nobody wants to get in. Binance is one of the best companies. I'm just talking about companies. We're not even talking about the coin. The coin has nothing to do with the company. People don't understand that. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that. But Binance is one of the most liquid, most profitable companies in the world. To put it in perspective, do you know which crypto company owns the most Bitcoin? Binance. It's not MicroStrategy. Do you know what crypto company owns the most Ethereum? It's Binance. Okay. So, we didn't know that back here. All I knew was, hey, it's an exchange. We need an exchange. We don't really have an exchange, not one that traders are used to. I'm gonna buy BNB at $1. I could have bought it for less, but I was on the sidelines watching at 20 cents. Okay? So, I do these videos so when I talk about new things, I can do one more. When I talk about new things, that when people are doubting me, right, you have a point of reference. Like, okay, why should I listen to this guy? Maybe. Well, he says he's invested himself out the hood. I have. He says that he's done this. I'm showing you that my basic picks have beaten someone who was considered probably the best money manager in the world. In fact, Warren Buffett flexed on every hedge fund, and he said, I don't believe you guys can beat the S&P 500. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put up $1 million, okay? And if you're able to beat the S&P 500, I'll donate $1 million to your charity. Right? That's what he said. He flexed on them fools. If you can beat the S&P 500, I will give you $1 million. Guess what? None of the hedge funds could do it. None of them could do it. Right? He's the man. And here I have shown you how the things that I've told you have whooped Warren Buffett. He can't see me, bro. He can't see me. Warren Buffett would be wealthier right now if I was managing his accounts. Because I would have been for sure back here with Bitcoin, Mr. Buffett. Bitcoin is the future, right? Right now, sir, you can get it for like $150, $200, $300. We could go in, like there's enough liquidity, Mr. Buffett. We could probably go in with a couple billion, even at these levels, right? And watch it grow. That would be his biggest position right now. Right? That would be his biggest position. That one decision. Here's another one. I was telling people to get in Chainlink back 17 cents. Here we go. 17 cents. It went up to $59. I got out at 19. Where's 19? Right here. I got out at 19 and I thought I nailed it. As soon as I sold, it went down. I'm like, yeah, I nailed it. I told you, I am an expert at getting in. I'm not an expert at getting out. If I could look, Warren Buffett could probably teach me a thing or two about patience. I'll admit that. He could probably teach me a few things about patience because I could have held to here. And who knows, you could probably still be holding. Chainlink's probably going to go higher. Now, knowing what I know now, I don't think Chainlink is worth this. I'm just going to be honest. I just, and I had, some Twitter fights with the team and stuff like that because I was asking questions and they didn't want to answer my questions. Right? So that was the other reason why I got out. You know what I mean? But for whatever reason, this keeps going up. People think, sentiment is all you need, right? And good teams will keep developing. So who knows? But nothing Chainlink does requires their token. That's my biggest issue. Their token is not required to do any of their processes. None. So that's my issue. If they were to require people using their services to hold the token, good night. Good night. But there are better opportunities out there than Chainlink, and those are the opportunities that I'm sharing with you now. If you don't know what those are, go look at my other videos. Right? For those of you who are asking me, hey man, can I get with you? Can we work together? This and that. Listen, I used to do that stuff years ago. I have personally held people's hand, making them a millionaire step by step. And believe it or not, some of those people right now, I'll talk about this another time, right? I'm going to be doing some interviews and stuff. I'm going to expose some people. But some of those people that I help make millionaires are literally trying to stab me in the back right now. I'm not joking. So I just don't, number one, I don't have the time, but I have no interest in doing that anymore. So I do this. This is my service to the world, and it's easy for me to do these videos and have it impact a lot of people at one time. Like, I've been saying a new course was coming and everything. A lot of people are asking me about the course. And then yesterday I was like, what am I doing a course for? Like, because I know where it's going to lead. Right. And I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. Right. Like, I don't try to flex on people. I don't. Right. That's not the way I was raised. That's not my faith. That's not how I do. But the reality is the information that I'm giving y'all, the information that I've been giving y'all is worth more than y'all are willing to pay me. There are people charging hundreds of thousands of dollars for like money management and things like that, or they're at least taking a percentage, right, of your money for their advice, and their advice does not compare to what I've shown you. So if I were to ask for, either a percentage of your profits, which frankly, I should be entitled to, right? Or ask for a front end, amount, it's gonna be higher than most people are willing to pay. But that's what other folks are able to do. Other folks are charging $25,000 for a 2-day crypto course. And in that crypto course, they're going to tell you, hey, we think Ethereum is great. We think Cardano is great. I'm gonna give you the course right now. We think Ethereum is great. We think Cardano is great. We think XRP is great. Have a great night. There's hors d'oeuvres in the back. That's the extent of their knowledge. That's it. They don't know what I know. But let me try to charge $25,000 for a 2-3 day course. See what happens. Let me try to even say something about people that I've helped. Like, yo, bro, I've helped you make X amount. You know what I'm saying? You can afford to at least, do X, Y, Z. And then, you don't hear nothing. You don't hear nothing. Right? So for my sanity and everything like that, because you know how it is when you're a minority, they don't respect you, y'all. Even though I have years of evidence, I just showed you that the things that I'm telling you about is beating everything. So the easiest thing for me to do, I do these videos. I've been doing them more frequently. It's really crazy. I got less time, but I'm giving more, right? But that's the season, I guess. I can't wait to the season where I can reap, you know what I mean, and I can chill. But I'm telling you this because I know what's coming. I know, like, people think that they're hurt now. People are not. They are hurt now, but it's gonna get worse. What's coming is house prices are out of control, inflation is out of control, and the average person cannot afford a house. And so, what you see happening, this is the pandemic level. I'm sorry, the financial crisis level, right? And this is where we were, like at all time lows. And look at what's happening over the past few quarters. This is nothing compared to what it's going to be, right? How much was you know hamburgers and cheese and things like that back then, right? When everything crashed versus now. Things are way more expensive now, right? And so it's going to hurt more. And companies are greedier now. Companies have less money to work with now. Even though their stocks have gone up, they've put that money into their pockets and they've bought real estate. Pretty much, they've bought real estate. And so now nobody can afford their real estate. Nobody can afford these inflated prices. So, this is what's coming. And so, honestly, guys, the reason why I keep doing what I'm doing is, number one, I've been here. I was in this number. Okay. I lost the house that my wife and I worked so hard to get. Right. And we didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So we had to ride through this. And honestly, truthfully, the only thing that pulled me out was the grace of God and crypto. If I didn't, here's why I'm outperforming Warren Buffett. Here's why the BSG index is beating the Berkshire Hathaway index. Here's why. Because I was making investments that I had to make, that if I was wrong, like I could, like, not be able to pay bills. Right? So I'm literally investing for our future. And if I made 3 decisions differently, and this is one of them, if I never made the decision to get into Chainlink, if I never made the decision to get into BNB, if I never made the decision to get into Bitcoin, I'm probably not talking to you right now. I'm definitely not, a millionaire. Without question. There's like no doubt. Those 3 decisions made all the difference. And the crazy part is, I was not even overly aggressive with the decision. That's what's crazy. I didn't have any money. So I wasn't putting a ton of money into this stuff. I didn't have it. Right? But if I did have the ability to be like super ridiculously, like, like crazy, and that is, I wanted to sell my house back here. I wanted to sell my house back here and put it all into BNB. That's what I told my wife. I'm like, yo, we need. I had made a God bless me with a great deal on a house. I bought a house for $15,000, and that house was now worth at that time like 80,000, and I own the house cash, free and clear. Right? See, this foreclosure, I learned from this. Right? We mortgaged this house. We paid enough fees to pay the house off, but we only made a dent of like 6-7% in the whole mortgage in like 8 years, even though we had paid the value of the house in payments. This time I'm like, okay, first of all, our credit was jacked up because we were in foreclosure. So we didn't have a choice. So I scrounged up some money and found somebody willing to sell me a house for $15,000. A bank. Nobody could sell this house. Nobody wanted this house. Right? It was a reason why nobody wanted it. You know what I'm saying? But this house was now worth 80,000, right? And people were making me offers. In fact, the same realtor that sold us the house was now making an offer through another client on the house. She was trying to get commission twice. And that's when the light bulb went off. I'm like, if she trying to get this house back, she knows that this house is going to be worth more. Okay. Now, full disclosure, right now that house is worth allegedly, which I can't believe, which it ain't. Allegedly is worth like 240,000 now. But I sold it for 180. But if I wanted to sell it here, and so if I was, gonna do that, and I could have did it, I would have been sleeping by myself for the next few years. But I could have did it. I could have did it, but I didn't want to upset, my family, and take my kids out or whatever, because we were gonna need somewhere to live. But if I had done this, right, at a dollar, was 80,000 times 200. What's that? Okay. So if I was more aggressive early, then I would be even nicer than I am right now. But I'm not complaining. God is good. I'm just telling you, like, when you see opportunities, and I had these same opportunities. Hear me. I had these same opportunities in things like Apple. I did. I could have bought Apple stock at a dollar. I could. But instead of buying Apple stock, I was trading it. And this is a lesson to all of you crypto traders out there. You need to stop trading. You don't know what you're doing. You're not good. Just if first of all, only invest in legitimate stuff and then get in and just hold it, right? Stay up on the news, right? Make sure, things are still going well, but, commit to it for some years, right? I got in back here on Chainlink, 17 cents. Look how long it took. That was 2017 or 18, right? The cash out came 2 to 3 years later. Yes, and if I had a held for another year, it would have been even more. You see what I'm saying? That's the name. I was trade. I could have easily bought Apple at a dollar. Netflix I could have got for pennies. Pennies. Right? So there's a lesson in that as well. And so that's why I hold now, because I get it. You gotta why is I'm gonna wrap this up with this. Why is it that BNB and Ethereum and Chainlink and others, why is that beating Berkshire Hathaway? Because this is representing the future. This is where we're going. And Berkshire Hathaway and Apple is where it's at. Where once you're there, where do you go from there? Okay, we're already at there. Do you think Apple can double their customers from where they are now? Where they gonna get them from? Unless they gonna start making iPhones for toads and fish and roaches, right? How is Apple gonna double their customers? How? From where they are now. That's where they're at. How is Netflix gonna double their customers? I would bet Netflix would double their customers before Apple, but who's to say? Like Netflix came around. Where's Netflix now? Netflix came around and took out Blockbuster. Okay? Who's to say that another company won't come and take out Netflix? Who's to say? Who says? They could. Right? Here we go. 1 year performance, 45%. Year to date, 53%. Hey, that's awesome. Here we go. 1 year performance, 45%. Year to date, 53%. That is awesome. Okay? But this is where it's at. This is not where, let me see if I can pull up where I was. Back here, man. This is where I was day trading. Not joking. This is where I was day trading Netflix back here. Day trading. Trying to make a percent or two. Right? Not realizing, look, you just right. This is millionaire stuff, bro. Okay? So just want to share that with you. My reply to Warren Buffett. I'm waiting for Warren Buffett to reply back. BSG, sorry to say you beat me, and I'd like to invite you to your choice of McDonald's or Dairy Queen, and we could talk about what we're gonna go forward. Mr. Buffett, I think you should invest in Bitcoin. Mr. Buffett, there's another project that I know about called 100. I think, you should drop just a little bit of money, like $1 million in there. I don't know about that. We'll have to. Right? Where you at, Mr. Buffett? I'm waiting on your reply. It's your boy BSG. I'm gonna holler at y'all in the next video.